That's alright, mama. That's alright with you. That's alright, mama. And just any way you do. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright now, mama. Any way you do. Come on, now. Can you feel the
The last name I found my blue lid drops.
into him now? About this new world. Ain't no drag.
Can you find Dad's blue lid eye drops, please? They might be in the bathroom,
Got a brand
or they're here somewhere. Free. Thank you.
purple haze in my brain. Lately things just don't seem the same. Acting funny and I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Hope everybody's doing well. I know last night wasn't a great night. And, you know, we always have hopes that things will go better than we anticipate, but that's not the way it works. You win some, you lose some, and in this case, it's apropos to not winning some, it's lose some. You can see why everyone thought we may with the candidate's name as win some, but we found out that she just changed her name to lose some Sears. It's all right. We'll talk about it. We'll go into it together. It'll make everyone hopefully feel. I don't know about better. I don't think that's going to happen tonight. But I think we can at least, you know, paint a picture a little bit, kind of explain why the GOP dropped the ball, and they did. And at the state level, a lot of people are trying to blame Trump, and I'm not gonna take that as a guaranteed. I think there definitely was some anti-Trump sentiment that helped, but we'll go into it. Some of the things that the Republican Party decided to do and not to do, and we'll kind of go from there. And some of the things we saw in Virginia that we weren't expecting, some of the things we were, and all across the country. We had some good news come out this morning in regards to Michigan, specifically Dearborn. And we'll talk about that as well. Please share, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Let's get the word out as much as we can. We need to drive numbers up. It's going to be a good night, good show tonight, good conversation. We'll see you in 3 minutes.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree? Stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want. Damn, show what you need. I won't tell no lies. Back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dad.
Hey, Matt, congratulations on your success, brother. And I really appreciate you giving, both sides, and just free speech the opportunity to have a platform, dude.
Got it. You got it. Thanks for everything you've done for this country, Eli. We'll talk next time. Tell Jen hello, and I'll have this ready in a couple of hours, and you can share it and take a look. Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree and disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Took you like 20 minutes.
I'm doing something, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Just wanted to give you a pre-show high five.
High five, pound it.
To get in front of everybody. Folks, we'll be right back. We're going to have to...
Adjusting transmitter output.
This
That was funny.
Right here. You're leaving me hanging again, yo. Crazy. What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Listen, it's... Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Let's do with the bad news because I don't think anything can get any worse. I'm wearing black for a reason.
Yeah, me too.
I'm mourning.
Republicans didn't turn out. And I could have told you that because they don't turn out in off years. They never do. And that is responsibility of the state GOP. Because there is no federal election. There's no presidential election.
Sneeze.
There's no federal election. So you're not going to blame Trump. Trump's not on the ticket. So you need to have a state push to get people to show up. But there's some disturbing trends, and people need to realize it. Now, a lot of people are like, well, these are blue states.
It was a blue state 4 years ago, and Youngkin got elected.
Right. But the difference is money was between Terry McAuliffe and Youngkin. The GOP dumped money into Virginia. And the problem is that Spanberger had 2 times more of a war chest than Sears did. That's number one. So you can't go to a gunfight with a toothpick. And that's what Winsome Sears had. She wasn't popular. She was anti-Trump. Now, a lot of people, including Steve Bannon, are saying that this is Youngkin's fault. And Steve Bannon doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. It's not Governor Youngkin's fault. And his reasoning is, well, Governor Youngkin was anti-Trump in 2021. Well, he wasn't anti-Trump. He didn't want Trump in Virginia because what would have happened last night would have happened when he ran for governor in 2021. Because Trump is not popular in Virginia. And although Trump had a better 2024 campaign than he had 2020, it still doesn't make him popular. It means that Kamala Harris is black and extremely unpopular. And she didn't do well as we thought she would anywhere in black populations, because we found out that black people don't like her either. So this is not Governor Youngkin's fault. Now, the thing about it is that Governor Youngkin did not have a good 2023 either. And we lost seats in the House and the state legislature seats. And now the Virginia legislature is going to be 33 to 100. They're going to have a super majority. There's 67 seats. They can make amendments to the Constitution if they want to.
Oops.
They can make amendments to the state's constitution because they got 2/3 majority. So none of this is good.
No.
Donated $5 through Super Chat WR332. I was getting inundated with winsome ads in California, but didn't see the Stop 50 ads until the week here in Cali. It's more than the state GOP failure. But that is a state GOP failure. If you're not seeing Prop 50, anti-Prop 50 ads a week before, then that's a state failure. It's a state initiative. It's a state proposition. And if you're seeing winsome ads, it's because you're a Republican. Now, there is something good about that because the hope is that you share it. And when you share it, you can get it to go viral and it can cross-pollinate with other candidates. And it's okay to do that. And video ads predominantly you can target, but static ads tend to get spread around quite a bit. And you do see a little, 1% to 2% of those ads go over in areas where they shouldn't be. But if a proposition, Prop 50, first of all, I've got some screenshots of Prop 50 that can kind of give you an idea of how discombobulated and bad it was represented on the ballot and how they said it, which was very misleading. And I told you Prop 50 last night was going to pass, and it did. And pretty much every election, the only two elections I did not chime in on were Michigan in Dearborn and the one in Oregon. In Dearborn, actually, he wound up losing. And that just came in a little bit ago. And this was that crazy bug-eyed Somalian dude. He lost. And the incumbent won. So that's good. I mean, it's still full of Somalis, but it is what it is. But he actually wound up winning the race. So that's a little light in a whole series of dark, right?
Yes.
I'm looking for the race in Michigan. Sorry, guys, if I seem a little out of it, I'm not. I'm trying to figure out where this race. This was not a big ticket item. We saw this guy several times, and I'm sure it was Michigan. Mom, would you look this up for me?
What am I looking up?
The mayor race in Michigan.
Oh, I didn't know what the race it was.
I think it's Michigan.
Mayor race.
Mayoral race, essentially. But
Mary
yeah, I
Sheffield.
got it. Yeah, Jacob Frey. He defeated Omar Fattah. And this was in Minnesota, not Michigan, excuse me. Not Dearborn, Michigan. It was Minnesota. Minnesota, of all places, rejected socialism. See, it's sometimes things just don't make sense.
Yep.
But Jacob Frey was, and this guy, I think basically the best way that I could go ahead and say this, and I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just going to be honest, is sometimes retards won't even vote for retards. You know what I mean? There it is. Look at that guy. We finally found a person a Democrat won't vote for. That guy literally looks like he's going to go ahead and steal your toy train. So he didn't get it. So that's good. But it's still Michigan, still blue. There's some bad numbers here I'm going to show you, and nobody's going to like this, but this is what we have to do because this is the truth, and truth is important. Yep. Take a look at these. This is for Cheryl. This is New Jersey. Now, a lot of people are like, hey, New Jersey broke for a Republican. No, it didn't. He got destroyed. Ciccarelli got absolutely manhandled. Look at this. Do you see the shift from 2024 president? See this? Mm-hmm. The blue column?
Yep.
Now, it's hard to go ahead and count 2024. And this is and this graphic, Democrats are running around screaming that this is really, really cool. But it's not, because Republicans don't show up for off-year elections. But either way, every single county in New Jersey, even red ones, folks, moved left. Liv, I'm going to say that again. Every single county in New Jersey moved to the left.
Wow. It's kind of sad.
And you would go, oh, well, that sucks. But I'm sure Virginia didn't do that. Nope, because here's Virginia. Every single county moved left. And we're talking Loudoun, 12 points. Prince William, 16. 8-1 in Portsmouth. Orange. I mean, these numbers are incredible. Manassas, Harrisonburg, Fairfax, 11. Fredericksburg, 11. King William moved 7 points. These are Republican strongholds. And this is to show you compared to 2024. We know in 2024 Democrats didn't show up because they didn't like Harris. And they didn't think Trump would win because the polls all said she was going to win. So, but this turnout, this was very, very important for the Democrats to come out and make a statement. And they did. And the GOP, in my opinion, sat on their laurels and thought that they were going to get Trump turnout, and they didn't. Every single state underperformed.
Thank you, Jeffrey Stiles, for the super chat. It went up right when you put the thing, and I put it in, and you put the thing, and it blocked it. So.
I said it, though.
No, he didn't. It was. This is a different super chat. He just donated 20. So it's a new super chat.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sorry about that. Sorry I missed it. So thank you, Jeffrey. So every single state underperformed. Obviously, except for Minnesota, which is baffling. So when we look at this, there's a few things you can glean. The thing that you need to understand is that this sends a very clear message to the GOP that they didn't do enough. And if they do this much in 2026 in the midterms, we're going to lose. But I role reversed today, and President Trump released a video. And in President Trump's video, he spoke about his newfound passion to end the filibuster. And this is a pretty controversial idea. So I'm going to talk about it with you, and we're going to bring Liv into it, and obviously we'll all kind of explore it together. But this is pretty serious for him to do this, and for him to ask for this. Not a lot of good can come of it for a few reasons. But let me explain where he's at, where his head is at, and then we can kind of go from there. So here's the video that I did, and then I'm going to show you what President Trump said first. And I want you to listen to this. Let me change the audio. All right, here it is. Take a listen. And a lot of people have questions about this, and I will get to it. Trust me. When I say I will get to it.
If I thought that they weren't going to pass the filibuster, I wouldn't even bring it up. They're going to pass it. If I thought that they weren't going to pass the filibuster, I wouldn't even bring it up. They're going to pass it within the first hour. If they take power, and it's more likely that they take power if we don't do it, because we're not going to be passing any legislation. They're not going to approve anything. We're going to go 3.25 years. There won't be one bill that we're going to pass, because the easiest thing to pass is exactly right now what they won't pass. And they'll do that, and they'll wreak havoc. But let's assume they get it. They're doing it anyway, so it wouldn't matter. They're doing it anyway. And, you know, I have a case where I have great U.S. attorneys that can't be approved because of the blue slips. The blue slips, I think you should terminate blue slips, too. It's a mental termination because it's really a custom.
All right.
What are blue slips?
I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
So, good question. So what he's saying right now is that there's kind of a catch-all, an insurance, if you will, if you don't have a full supermajority, which is 60 votes. And it is the filibuster. And it stops the Senate from passing legislation without a +1 majority, which would be 50-50 +1, which would be the vice president breaking the tie, which we've seen happen on many things. But those are on procedural votes. Most of the votes that actually are written law are requires 60 votes in order to pass. What Donald Trump is saying is using the nuclear option to remove the procedural rules that they can to remove the filibuster. And that would essentially absolve the filibuster that was reintroduced by Harry Reid, I believe in 2012 or 2014. And it would offer no protection for the Democrats. So Republicans could go on a mass blitz with 50+1 and pass every piece of legislation that they want. They could go and put in voter ID in place, make it law. They could go ahead and make certain federal regulations when it comes to voting. They could put in legislation for funding, for removing or putting limitations on the Department of Education. I mean, they could just go and have a field day. And a lot of people are saying, oh, wait a second, why don't they just put the filibuster right back into place after they do all that before 2026? Because that requires 60 votes in order to put something that would require 60 votes to change. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. And I want you guys to walk me through this in your heads, and I want you to hear me on this.
Okay.
If Donald Trump uses the nuclear option, and I at this point am saying for him, even though I said before that I'm not okay with it, at this point, I think I have to be okay with it. But I will tell you what's going to happen. If Donald Trump uses the nuclear option to remove the filibuster from Senate, and we lose in 2026, Donald Trump will be impeached, convicted, and removed from office. For certain.
Then we're going to stack the court.
No, because the filibuster, well, yeah, and then the filibuster will be open, but that doesn't matter. Trump's gone. Trump will be gone. Because if they win the House, they're going to win the Senate. They're not going to give them a bicameral legislature. They're not going to do that. They're not going to give them the House and then take away the Senate. They're going to take away both. If they win. So what Donald Trump would have to do, and listen to me close here, is that he would have to use that filibuster being gone for redistricting. And would have to ensure that every single red state was redistricted that could remove seats from Democrats like they're doing in California, like they did in Maryland, like they did in Illinois. Illegally, mind you, because 90% of Californians wanted a separate independent bureau for redistricting. But the way that Prop 50 was worded was that it was temporary to redistrict in California for a 5-year period of time, and it would limit Republicans from doing nefarious things in California. That was the way they worded the proposition. It was deceptive. Now, the Supreme Court needs to hear this. They need to go after Prop 50. By the way it was worded on the ballots, it was very deceptive. And enough people, they could recall that result. So that's not guaranteed to stay. And
Do you think it will be seen by the Supreme Court?
If I'm the GOP, I am sending lawyers to every county and collecting signatures to repeal this thing and to have it a recount, revote done.
With correct wording.
With correct wording. That's me. But honestly, if the GOP redistricts all the red states, they will have a net 25 gain in the House. And then there's nothing that Democrats can do to retake the House. Senate, that's another story. But it doesn't matter. Nothing's getting through if we hold the House. But understand this. if you get a president who wins in 2028 who's a Democrat and they win the Senate, Donald Trump believes that they're going to put the filibuster right back in place. They will after they impeach Trump and remove him. That's the problem. And they will get 7 Republicans to jump ship. Say they have a 53 majority. 7 Republicans will vote to remove Trump. There are plenty who will do it. You know, Rand Paul will do it. All you got to do is listen to the rumblings of the people who don't love Trump, who are the never Trumpers. Lindsey Graham will vote to remove him. Lindsey Graham's a
Marjorie
backstab.
Taylor Greene.
She's not a senator.
Oh.
So that's what you're getting. If we think Trump is a true 4D chess type of guy, he is going to have to redistrict all the red states, remove the filibuster first, push through all the legislation that he can get through before 2026 new Congress and House, new Congress is initiated to freshman college. That's it. Removed for what? Darla, it doesn't matter.
They impeached him how many times on bullcrap that wasn't true?
They'll impeach him on ICE. They'll impeach him on anything they want. It doesn't matter. They don't have to prove anything. An indictment, we've already established, doesn't have to be real. They will kangaroo court it. Yeah, the filibuster can put back in place with a 60 vote. But why would the Democrats put it back in place if they have the majority?
Nancy Jennings from Super Chat. Do you think protecting illegal aliens as a ploy for votes is the backbone of this crap? Why Prop 50? Is this all the Dems have?
You Prop 50 so they can eliminate Republican seats. It's in retaliation for Texas. When Texas legally redistrict based upon demographics of voting blocks, which they are allowed to do, and the only way they're allowed to do it according to the Supreme Court, California, in retaliation, went ahead and put up Prop 50. Thank you, Nancy. Why are mostly blacks voting Democrats still? For the same reason that 4 million blacks didn't rise up against the South when they outnumbered the slave owners 100-1. What if I told you that your property was going to be taken away if you push back against the government? What if I told you that they would come in and seize your property or seize your vehicle or seize your bank? What if I told you if they wanted to remove your firearms from your house? Are you willing to die? Are you willing to give up your life? Or are you going to go ahead and continue to live with your kids and try to continue your life? Now, some people are like, I'd fight the government and I die. Well, okay. Maybe. But it's a stupid fight. You're going to lose. That's the way people feel in the inner cities. If I fight, if I change, they're going to take away my benefits. They've been scared into submission. They have them on the hook, addicted to government benefits. That's why. They've been told generationally that Republicans are evil and bad and the Ku Klux Klan and Nazis and they hate the blacks. I mean, these are the lies they've been told. And unfortunately, when the education system inside the inner city is that of a fourth grader, they're going to get a lot of people who believe it. You're nervous over the SCOTUS. Well, they're not going to allow those tariffs to stand because it's unconstitutional. They've always been unconstitutional. Congress appropriates the dollars, not the president. He's going to lose. And I've always said that. What I told you is it's going to take a year to year and a half for that to happen, and that's right about where we are. It's unconstitutional for him to apply those tariffs. He can't. And you know what's great about Trump? But the whole point now is what do you do with all that money? Do we have to give this money back to the countries? What does that look like? What about these deals that we brokered? What about some of these trade deals that we got, which were quite a few? What about some of the peace deals we got because of these tariffs and restrictions? What happens when there's no punishment for China to play ball and play fair? What happens then?
So it's unconstitutional for other countries to charge us a crap ton of tax.
They don't have the U.S. Constitution, and they don't have they don't have the checks and balances that we do.
But we don't have to. They don't. We pay more than them. It just doesn't make any sense. Why that's unconstitutional?
It's not unconstitutional for others to do that because they don't have to follow our laws. The problem is that if they don't follow our laws, there's no retribution and there's no way for us to go ahead and slap them outside of the free market, because then that's the lie about tariffs. It's not tariffs raising the prices. This is literally hangover from the Biden administration trying to get our country back to normal. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing gas going down. We wouldn't see housing prices going down. We wouldn't see overall food going down, but there are still some key indicators that are still high and still growing. Coffee's one of them, red meat's the other, because there was a massive shortage in production. But that happens every single year, minus Joe Biden or not, is certain products are higher than the previous year and lower on other times. But SCOTUS is most assuredly, in my opinion, going to vote against Donald Trump on the tariffs. But that's not true, Thomas. It's not true at all. See, in the short term, companies will try to increase the price of goods in order to offset the tariffs. But there's only so much margin that they can do that with before they outprice themselves from competition who aren't impacted by tariffs, specifically people who live in North America. So when you have more businesses coming into the United States and creating products, and you have some overseas jackhole using labor at 15 cents an hour, he has more margin to increase prices and pass it on to the consumer. But at some point, they will overreach their margin percentage and cost, and domestic will be cheaper than them. And that is what Donald Trump is trying to do. And we're seeing that the tariffs have not been passed on to the consumer. You're not seeing that. That's where these trade deals come in, is to have a plethora of cash coming in from these tariffs in order to give us leverage to increase our buying power and also to incentivize businesses to come here. So it's a long game. But you ask any economist, tariffs are not driving up inflation right now. Tariffs aren't driving up food prices. It has short-term impact, but long-term impact, it creates competition. Look where fuel's at. Look where avocados are at. Look where eggs are at now. Look where wheat is. So all these things that you saw drive up over the last year are coming down. Red meat is up for a reason. That's why he's putting in the $40 billion into Venezuela in the meat markets. And giving them money is to exchange for red meat, because the cattle producers had one of the worst yields they've ever seen. They've had record profits for 3 years running. And their yields are low. And so to understand what we're trying to say here is that, and answer your question, honey, free market is supposed to balance itself out with supply and demand. And if China is driving up prices or limiting goods on purpose to create a denser market or a shrink market, they're overall going to get hurt on the world stage, because people will no longer become interdependent on their product and find a secondary solution. We've done this with pharmaceuticals. We've done this with silicone chips, et cetera, et cetera. So we're starting that process. We're 10 years out, but we're starting to create our own semiconductor chips. We're starting to create our own pharmaceuticals and buying them from different places in order to go ahead and offset really the hold that they have on certain things. But the President of the United States, the money that he has is allotted to emergency funds and appropriations. And the House controls the purse strings. So even when all tariffs come in, who do you think gets that? Do you think that goes into a piggy bank in the federal government? Where does that go? Do you know? I
You
just
know,
told.
I've never.
I just told you.
Does-
Who controls the purse strings?
China right now.
No. Not listening again.
I am listening. This is very
Who
confusing.
controls the purse strings in the United States
Congress.
government? Yeah, House. So the House controls the purse strings. So when that tariff money comes in, it goes directly to the U.S. Treasury, and the U.S. Treasury gives it to Congress. So when Trump imposes a tariff, that's like it's a tax. And the only form of government who can impose taxes are the people who control the purse string, which are
Congress.
That's it. So the complication is whether the SCOTUS decides. Now, SCOTUS is just supposed to say whether it's constitutional or unconstitutional. But Amy Coney Barrett is asking questions like, well, what do we do with all that money that we got? Well, that's not her job. But if she makes that her job and makes that sway her decision, well, then she's not fulfilling her duties as a jurist. She's getting into politics then. And that's not her job. Her job is to interpret the Constitution, not apply its laws. So she simply says yay or nay, affirm or deny. But she's asking this question, like if I go ahead and vote against this, not vote, but if I judge against this, what happens to all that money? What happens to these trade deals? Well, it's not her job to ask that question. So my opinion is SCOTUS will affirm the lower court's decision in the appellate court to block these tariffs from taking place. And honestly, that is the right thing to do. It's what's in the Constitution of the United States, no matter how good we think these tariffs will be for us. Now, the good news is we've got most of our trade deals done. We've got most of the things that we need to do done. And now to keep these people honest, we can put embargoes on them, or we can put restrictions on trade on them. Or we can seize their banking methods and their currencies. And we can do a lot of things and put sanctions on countries. So I don't think Trump is terribly worried about the tariffs right now. But at some point, this is where we're going to be. Is SCOTUS is going to say, and then those tariffs will be removed. That's more than likely what's going to happen. Can Trump get Congress to impose them? It's a great question. Yes, if you have the votes, but Republicans don't like tariffs, and a lot of people think that he shouldn't be applying tariffs, and they're going to be cowards and not support Trump like they should. They can't even get a continuing resolution in Senate. What makes you guys think that they're going to go ahead and get tariffs applied? Bobby Richardson donating $103.48, a little more to catch up on. Love you both. Thank you so much. That really helps.
Bobby, appreciate it.
Why didn't RFK, J.D. Vance, other Republicans go around and campaign for their own party in Virginia, New Jersey, and New York? Thanks. That's a complicated question. New York is because Sliwa. The GOP is not a fan of Sliwa, and Sliwa hates Trump. So you're not going to go to New York. Donald Trump, why didn't he go to New Jersey? New Jersey, he has a bad record with New Jersey. Remember the way he was with Chris Christie and what happened in New Jersey? Mm-hmm. It's deep blue. They did not feel that Ciccarelli, after 3 times, was going to do it. So they gave him a teleconference. They did a couple fundraisers. They slapped his back in a couple photo shoots, and that was pretty much it. And Virginia, Winsome Sears literally had just been talking shit about Donald Trump for 3 years. And if you would have brought Trump in here, she would have lost even worse. Trump is not popular in Virginia. He's popular in the rural areas. They're already voting for Winsome Sears. Trump did not come to Virginia because the GOP honestly gave up on Virginia. Because it was horrible. You guys forget 2023 what happened. We lost, 4 House seats? Yeah. Brandon Michon lost. And like 3 others lost. It was 4 House seats were lost, went all blue. And that's why Youngkin didn't run in 2024, is because of his terrible performance in Virginia. And last night was even worse. Now, is that based on Youngkin? Well, listen, Youngkin didn't hold a primary. They went with Winsome Sears. She wasn't the best candidate for the job. Honestly, Jason Miyares would have probably been a good choice. But Governor Youngkin did what he did because he got what he got from the state GOP. This is not the Republican National Convention, the RNC. This is the state local GOP that failed Virginia. And this isn't the first time. How many times have we run unopposed on races in Virginia?
Yeah.
This isn't the first time. How many school boards do we have to lose?
There was 5 school board seats in LCPS. One was unopposed.
Yeah.
There no one, and then 2 were incumbents, and the incumbents won, and then the other 2, I don't even know if they've done the results yet. I don't know.
So there's a perfect example right there. So in the scheme of things, the state didn't want Trump here, and they didn't want him here when Youngkin ran in 2021. They did not want him here in 2023, and there was not this large cry. Remember, even the tele-rally that Donald Trump did, he talked about Jason Miyares, he talked about Higgins, he talked about Reed. He didn't even mention Winsome Earl-Sears' name. So when you disrespect Donald Trump in the state of Virginia, as Winsome Sears did, it's probably why she didn't come on this podcast, because she knows we're Trump supporters, huge Trump supporters. And I would ask her questions. Why aren't you calling out for President Trump? Why aren't you standing shoulder to shoulder with him? Why is Obama in your backyard, but President Trump isn't? And I would have asked her those questions. But it is what it is. Now, am I turning against Winsome Earl-Sears? No, she was the lieutenant governor. I'm going to show her loyalty. She's the Republican on the ticket. I'm going to give her that respect. It's not like it's Sliwa. And she had a bona fide chance, but she was not a good candidate. She ran a shitty campaign. The GOP did not help her in any way, shape, or form. And Youngkin, probably the one thing he did do wrong, he should have run a primary and let the cream rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. And so it's a mistake. But it's not like he would have won anyway with that money, with that war chest. You can't run a Virginian race for governor for nothing. I mean, she had nothing. She was running 50% to Spanberger. So,
we actually won one school board race.
Good.
We got 1 out of 5. We got 1 good seat. So that's more than we had yesterday.
Yeah.
So got to look on the bright side of that. So that's good. She only won by like 500 votes, but she still won.
Good. Karen Ver says, do you think Trump knew these tariffs would be challenged unconstitutional? Sure, because the White House counsel is just a team of lawyers, a massive team of lawyers. And the White House counsel literally is the lawyer of the entire administration and all 5,000 some odd employees that are working in the administration. The precedent that they're using, the argument and the case notes that they're using really are unrelated to what Trump's doing. So it's not going to fly because it's an obscure use of the ruling in order to happen. It's very similar to like a 14th Amendment with Dobbs and Roe v. Wade. A right to privacy covers abortion. So if I want to slaughter my wife in the basement, can I just say it's okay because I kept it private? I performed surgery on her with a butcher knife. Is that okay?
That's a way to put it.
So do I think I think he knew. I think he knew. And by saying it's for national defense, it's obscure and it's probably not going to stick. But that's okay. Those tariffs, they kind of done their job at this point. They've brought in a very steady stream of revenue. They've got pretty much every nation we wanted to the trading block on the table. China is going to solidify their deal. It helped with the stopping a lot of the conflicts going around the world by putting these tariffs on different countries and using them to remove them for peace deals. So they did their job. Would it be nice to have them continue to keep driving business into our country? Sure. But are there other ways to do that? Yeah, there are other ways to do that. Do I think this is going to be a wasted presidency for Trump? Not if they go ahead and redline every red state and redistrict every red state. It has to happen at this point because they're not, listen, folks, they're not playing softball. The Democrats want him to use the filibuster so they can impeach him. That's what they're doing. And anyone who can't see that needs to get in Trump's ear because I've called every single thing in this guy's entire career. Olivia will tell you. I have called it. I've called the races. I've called how he needs to pivot. Getting Corey Lewandowski back was something that I said. I may not be involved in his campaign, but I have been making calls on the behest and behalf of his campaign, and I've been right. And I'm telling you right now, the long game of the Democrats, the absolute long game, just like COVID, is to leverage this shutdown to win these elections and keep it going as long as possible so Donald Trump uses the nuclear option. And when they do, it's ball game. Because like I said, the way things are going, he's going to lose in 2026. You have to redistrict. You have to play the Democrats in their game.
You're not going to beat him any other way.
You need balls. You need balls like this. That ballroom, his balls need to fill that ballroom, and he needs to ensure that he nukes the filibuster. And once he does that, the House goes after and starts redistricting. And if the federal government has to come in and use the weight of the courts to do so, and you use the state's attorneys to do so, to override and sue these states, whatever it takes. But you need to redistrict these states. And if you do, you gain 25 seats and you hold in 2026. Then you push as hard as you can, and hopefully those bills that you push through in the next year make massive difference to the economy, and they give you what you want by deregulating, incentivizing small businesses, continuing driving energy prices down, alleviating these tariffs and let them go by the wayside, which will also help with prices to come down a little bit because you won't have that high level of increase in overseas goods that come in. We may not get those businesses to come in, but we have a lot of companies who are investing. We have trillions of dollars from companies investing in the United States and bringing businesses here. We don't need the tariffs anymore. I think Trump understands this. He understood the long game. And you use the year to go ahead and pass the legislation that you need to pass. The American people give you the Senate. They punch Trump's ticket for 2026. Maybe they take the House away, but at that point it won't matter because they can't because of the redistricting. And if you want to incentivize and you want to get red states to vote, release the fucking Epstein files and burn the billionaires. He's not protecting himself. He's protecting the people who are in his campaign. Get that monkey off your back. Get the Epstein files released. Give everything full transparency. Do whatever you can. And people are like, oh, well, that's judges. No, there's still files. There's still redacted information. Give them everything. Make it the most hold a hearing. Assign Rand Paul and assign the worst, get Ro Khanna and create a committee. And I'm not kidding. Have them investigate and give them a 3-month investigation, give them $10 million to hold all the little hearings and you bring in the White House counsel, you bring in the states or any attorneys that handle this from New York who dealt with Ghislaine Maxwell's reduced solitary or whatever she did. She got moved to a minimum security. You do all that and you make Senate hearings. And you let them do that for 3 months and just get this shit in the open and get it done. Let them get the files and burn the billionaires. I don't care. You're not running again. Burn the billionaires and then start arresting people. If you do that, you release the Epstein files, which are holding people up in their heads right now, and GOP is pissed about it, and red states are pissed about it. You go ahead and start arresting the people who did nefarious things when it came to the auto pen, who COVID lockdowns, Burisma, election fraud accusations, whatever it is, pay to play, and you start making some arrests, and you make sure you get the Comey trials going, you get the Brennan and Tapper trials going, and you start doing what you said you were going to do and drain the swamp, you'll win in 2026. Yep. You'll energize your base, and then they will come out because you've redistricted the lines like you promised you would. You played the Democrats' game, and you said no more. And you don't cave on the continuing resolution. But you're running out of time, and that's why he may have to use the filibuster and nuke it.
Good question from Ryan Johnsberg. Do you think we will ever see a time where the parties ever get dissolved and the elected representatives run on their own merit ideas versus it being a D or an R idea and the opposing party automatically votes against it? Anonymous bills that are presented with no party affiliation, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thanks, Thomas.
It would be nice. It would
Yeah, go
really
ahead.
be nice to get rid of the parties, because right now I think people vote not on who the person is or the issues. They vote based on, I don't like Republicans, so I'm going to vote Democrat. And
Yeah.
they don't even care what they're voting for as long as it doesn't represent a Republican, and vice versa. And we really need to get away from that so people will start voting by their conscience again and what is going to be best for them, as opposed to, I hate Donald Trump and I hate anyone in that party, so I don't care if it's going to put me and my family on the street, but I won't vote for it.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see that each state proposes legislation and it's sealed like an indictment. And the state's Congress goes ahead and proposes legislation and it's sealed under indictment, like an indictment or a grand jury. And the session of Congress has these presented like SCOTUS cases that they are not versed on. And they literally have the state representative come in and they vote right there.
Yep.
With no breaks. You cannot listen to a case and then take a break, and you have to vote. No electronic devices, no hand signals. They have to vote openly right there.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
That
because
would solve a lot.
Yeah, but it won't happen.
No.
No. The answer is no to your question, Ryan. And I think is it Jonsberg? Jonsberg?
I'm not sure.
Jonesburg? Might be
I'm not
Jonesburg.
sure.
No. I love the anonymous bills. I love that. But in order to do that, you would have to do it the way I said. It would have to be completely taken out of the state legislature. And that would take a constitutional amendment, because the state legislature, they write the laws.
Do you think someone on
Congress.
Trump's team has told him about the results of getting rid of the filibuster?
I hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah.
I'll tell him. What I'm going to tell him is if you go ahead and you nuke the filibuster, you're playing Russian roulette. You very well could be impeached and removed and convicted. But if you do that, you need to do the redistricting. You need to bring every single Republican in chambers. As you as the president, with J.D. Vance right behind you and the attorneys general, everybody, your administration, you sit there and say, it's reckoning time. And you're either with us or you're against us. And if you don't vote with us, you're not going to get a fucking penny for your reelection. In fact, we're going to rail against you. We're going to primary you. We need you to go stump in your state capital. We need you to get every donor that you have, and you need to demand redistricting from your GOP leadership inside your state. And the process needs to happen in the next 60 days. If you don't do that, you're going to get impeached and you have a good chance of going to jail. Well, or at least be convicted. Force him to resign. See, what people don't seem to understand is somebody said because he was acquitted by the Senate. And I don't know if that's the old, he was never impeached because he wasn't found guilty. He was indicted. That's what impeachment means. Impeachment proceedings is not a trial by guilt. It is literally a grand jury. It's an indictment. It's like issuing a parking ticket. You're not guilty. And then the Senate did not convict. It doesn't remove the impeachment. It's like getting charged. Say you were charged with assault and battery. And then that assault and battery was removed due to some technicality that took place. Still stays on your record. You would have to have it expunged and removed completely. Well, there's no process for that in an impeachment. Even a pardon doesn't remove an impeachment. We learned that with Ford and Nixon. Donald Trump was not found guilty of the indictment, the impeachment, but he was still impeached. He just wasn't removed. Those are two separate proceedings. So when people are like, he was never impeached, that's not true. He was impeached twice. And they tried to do it a third time when he was out of office, which is illegal. He can't do it. That's why they didn't do it. But yeah, he was acquitted by the Senate. That's correct. Is it true that President Trump gave her millions for her campaign? It's my understanding it was $1 million apiece for Ciccarelli and her. You haven't mentioned Epstein files in forever. No, but I will tell you, this is what the Nick Fuentes and the Dave Smiths and the Stu Peters and the people who are talking to the youth of the conservative party, this is what they're doing. They're saying he's pro-Israel. He's owned by Israel, the Epstein files. Well, you need to get that shit put away. You need to remove that conversation from the table. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care. I don't care about the I don't give a shit about the Epstein files. Honestly, I just want the people who hurt kids to pay. And I really do not believe that Donald Trump is in there, or we would have known that already. I believe that Donald Trump is protecting the donor class. I'm sorry. This is politics. Get this guy. Did you get this guy out of here?
Yep, already did.
Okay, sorry. I have to. I know. I have to look anyway.
I am on top of it. We've already had 3. I have noticed that lately when we come on within the first 5 minutes, we're getting bots and spammers.
Yeah.
And we're getting several each night now.
Would Trump fall on his sword for this to happen? It would do no good. You don't want, it would do no good for the country. It would do no good. No, Trump's not stupid. You're not going to open yourself up to impeachment unless you protect yourself. If he nukes, they're going to redistrict. If they don't, it would be the dumbest move since Watergate. It would be stupid. Yeah, Jessica, it's a really good point. What do you think the odds of Trump getting impeached in 2026 are? If we redistrict, 0. If we don't redistrict, they're going to lose in 2026. There's only like 3 presidents in U.S. history who have maintained party dominance in the House and Senate after one term. We don't have a big enough sample size after split terms because we only have 2 presidents who've had to go through that. Trump and was it Hoover? No. Hubert Humphreys. Or Cleveland. Grover Cleveland.
Yep.
Which one?
Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland. My brain sometimes, I'm getting older. What do you want from me? But I had it. Grand jury to indict a ham sandwich and also believe Trump is protecting others $5 through Super Chat. I think Elisa Stefanik can win New York. I do. I do think she can win New York, especially with Mom Donnie, what he's going to do to that place. Would the population be satisfied if only the U.S. perpetrators be exposed? I don't know. I just want everything. I want under testimony, under oath, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Ratcliffe, and anyone else who had any files on Epstein to stand up there and say every single file has been released and unredacted for Congress to review and look at. under closed doors, and every other file, redacted, has now been released in our possession. I want those words on record as we can put this fucking thing to bed. Get rid of it. Dude, Democrats are really good at their jobs, and you guys underestimate them way too much. I try to warn you. They are really good at this. They got an entire 3 generations of Americans to believe that they were not the party of the Ku Klux Klan. Did you just hear what I said? They got an entire 3 generations to believe they weren't the party of the Klan. They didn't do Tuskegee experiments. They didn't do Japanese internment camps. They didn't do the Jim Crow laws. That they weren't born from the Daughters of the Confederacy and the KKK. That they weren't responsible for Age of Enlightenment. They weren't responsible for eugenics. They weren't responsible for World War II. The Democratic Party they're masters at lying. They got an entire 3 generations to believe that there was some magical party switch that happened after civil rights. What? There is no party switch. There never was a party switch. It's completely false. They're good at what they do. They've been lying for a long time. What I mean by nuke is it's called the nuclear option, to remove the filibuster. You're using a nuclear option to remove a procedural process from the Senate to remove what Harry Reid put in with the filibuster, which required 60 votes, to bring it back down to a simple majority rather than a supermajority, which is 50 plus 1. 50 senators plus J.D. Vance. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Balls just can't help himself, can he? Just can't help himself. Too many big wigs are on that list. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You got to make a choice. It's either the big wigs or betray your voting base. No, Hubert Humphreys was president? Yeah. Yeah. What years? Hubert Humphrey High School? I thought he was. No, he wasn't. That's right. 1968. Came close. Didn't get it. You're right. Sorry. This is Matt and Olivia. What's up?
Hi, it's Mel.
Hey, buddy.
Yo.
I just have a question. I said, because I asked it earlier, and you said the filibuster can be, once it's voted out or done, whatever, or how come they didn't do that? Or how come the Dems didn't do that after the Harry Reid fiasco, whatever, and when they had control, whatever? How come they didn't reverse what Harry Reid had done?
Good question. All right, so let's go into it. It's a what's known as a parliamentary tactic. You might hear them say, hey, parliamentary inquiry, right?
Yep.
So the people who are in charge governing the filibuster by a simple majority of 51 senators instead of the usual 2/3, which is 67. So it ends the debate on a topic invoking cloture, which requires 60 votes. It gives the minority power to block legislation or nominations. That is the nuclear option. 2013, Harry Reid used it to eliminate the filibuster for most presidential nominations except the Supreme Court. 2017, by McConnell, expanded it to include Supreme Court nominations, allowing Neil Gorsuch's confirmation. So they have. The expansion and retraction of it has been done before, and that is the nuclear option. So it can be removed as simply as it was applied. Because we've seen it in 13 and 17.
Yeah. So if Trump does that now, which I'm totally against, he should just hold the ground and don't cave at all. I'm going to say then, well, if it can be reversed, what does it take to reverse it? Does it take the 60 to get?
Yep, let me answer that question for you. Okay, so to formally change the rules is how it works. They would need a 2/3 vote, 67 senators, to amend Senate rules, which governs debate and cloture. Using the nuclear option, though, it works differently. So a simple majority of 51 senators can reinterpret or ignore existing rules by setting a new precedent. So it effectively changes how the filibuster works without formally rewriting the rule book. That's the nuclear option. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's a fail-safe. So if at any point they want to, all they need is a 50+1 to remove it, but then in order to reenact it, they need a supermajority to do so.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of us out here are like, okay, so what's if he does it and you say it can go back, what's it going to take to get it back? And if it's a supermajority?
51 plus 1. It would just require a 51+1 to change the rule. To completely abolish and remove the filibuster, it is a 3/4 vote, which would be 67. And the reason why is because to remove any amendment, it takes a 3/4 majority, and to amend and add is a 2/3. But in this case, the filibuster has a 51+1 amendment where rules can be changed. The filibuster can't be removed, but they can edit and change it with a 50+1. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So simply when what Trump's saying is as soon as they get back in office, they're going to reintroduce the filibuster. That's not true. They'll impeach Trump and then they'll put it back into place.
Well, of course. But if it happens before 2020,
and you do the redistricting, you protect yourself from them winning, and then it's a moot point. And Republicans more than likely will have a big enough majority. It doesn't matter. They need a 50+1 to reinstall the filibuster. So the risk is very low. But you have to do if you don't do the redistricting, you're FUQ'd because you're probably going to lose in 2026.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now that makes like 100%, like whatever. So
yeah.
I'm on the fence now.
Hubert Humphreys was not a president. I was thinking of Hoover. I'm tired. Guys, I'm exhausted. Like this was an emotion. Like there was a lot of investment going on last night in the show. If you couldn't tell, does it make sense?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, and I didn't watch it on purpose because I was like, I didn't want to get any more angry because I knew it was not going to go well. The only thing that really, really disappointed me, and I just wanted to say, well, whatever, was I'm really pissed that the AG went to the convict. Well, I call him the convict, the one that was going to take out his opponents and whatever, and his family and whatever. Like, I can't believe that Virginia voted for that guy.
Oh yeah, not just that. I mean, we had a House delegate that was a drug dealer who was waved off on a technicality. You've got a CIA spook. Our
lieutenant governor now is a Palestinian Hamas sympathizer.
It's
who
bad.
Speaks Arabic and holds up the flag, the Palestinian flag, when she talks. And she did no interviews. She did no debate, and she spoke to no one during the campaign. And she still got elected.
And that's what I thought was probably the biggest failure was the down vote, like the down ballot, like whatever. And I'm like, oh wow, like there's some serious.
Remember what I told you it would take for them to do that, and I tried to explain that the down ballot wasn't going to. Well, listen, we called it. Here's the picture.
Yes, you did.
Here's the picture. You did. Here's the picture, Mel. Can you see this on the phone?
Yep. No. Well, I have to go back.
Oh, it just basically is a welcome to West Virginia sign, and it says now leaving Virginia. Welcome to West Virginia. Leave your liberalism at the door. And like that. Olivia and I are really considering it at this point.
I was really disappointed because Loudoun County, the incumbent was Jason, and Loudoun County voted him out, and I'm like, so that's where the pedophiles and whatever, because they all live there.
Well, listen,
having watched all your news and whatever.
Maybe we just might need to realize, Mel, that firing 1.5 million people who live in the biggest counties in Virginia may not have been a good idea.
True, but reality is reality, and
I know,
and that's probably the biggest thing that the people that are living there, they are living outside because the cost of living or whatever was cheaper than living in Washington D.C. Yeah, they can do the commute, but they can keep their bullshit politics and bring it to another place, which is to me the biggest problem. It's like you're bringing your shit and you're living. Well, I call it incognito. It's not incognito, but it's bullshit. Like, take your politics. If you don't want to live in wherever, don't go there. And that's where I see a lot of the comments today, having gone back on to social media and reading, going, don't bring your politics here. And they've been saying that for a long time. Texas, Florida, a bunch of Louisiana, Tennessee, like, don't bring it here, but they're bringing it here.
I know.
And that's the biggest scare is whatever. But I really was happy that person, and I'm not going to say whatever on whatever.
Oh, trust me, we got to hear. We got to hear about him for the next 4 years. Hey, Mel, I'm going to cut.
Well, no,
I got a shit ton to go over. I love you, and thank you
Love
for
you.
calling us. You're the best.
Nope. Love you guys.
Love you, Mel.
Cheers.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Thanks for the super chat.
Oh yeah.
I want to know, where are the blue dog Democrats right now? Are they calling out their party?
Listen, you guys need to understand something. Virginia is blue. New Jersey's blue. New York's blue. The portion of Georgia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, California, Oregon, Michigan, Minnesota. These are blue areas, y'all. Sorry, my contacts are hurting me tonight. I'm tired. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break so I can get some drops in my eyes. Goal is 158.48. I'd really like not to be talking about goal. We've got to move. We've got a ton to cover, and I'd like to just hit this. So if you're planning on donating, now's a great time. You can go to thedumbshow.com/donate. Help the show hit its goal, so we can continue to keep providing commentary like this for you. Mel, we love you. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Mel.
We'll be right back with more Donut Friendly Show. We got a lot to cover. We're gonna be moving when we come back, so get your big girl, big boy pants on.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking, I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's what she said.
That's what she's. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound.
Child
For you.
15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm going to punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan. Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
He's better than
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh, yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
Yes, thank you so much for donating. We also thank Mel for calling in. Mel, I'm sorry we had to cut you short. We got so much to cover tonight, and I apologize. And you're not distracting us. It's that I talked way too long about one topic. It's my fault, not yours, and we love you to death, and thank you.
WR332, again, super chat. True to Democrat thinking about democracy, their politicians will flee the state, shrink the responsibility to vote unless they can stack Congress.
Yep, and we know that's what they're going to do. So that's why we have to redistrict, because they're going to obviously expand Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. We know this. We know they're going to go ahead and stack the courts. They've told us what they're going to do. At this point, you do it. Here's Tommy Tuberville. I also want, someone said, hey, have you thought about taking, thank you, Mel. Love you, sister.
Mel.
Have we thought about taking a sponsorship? We did. We had a $3,000 a month sponsorship with Wimkin. And they ran into some financial troubles, and then there's a video on this, and we decided to go ahead and step away. And whether that starts again sometime or if somebody else comes in, no. It's great. We would take a sponsorship as long as, we have full control and autonomy. We would love to sponsor with somebody, but it's not our number one priority right now. Our number one priority is to continue to do this and hit our $300 goal. It's what our focus is. And we've done the math, and this helps. It's a part of a revenue stream, and the viewers help us out. So we want to do the same thing to help them. Kimberly Jergemeyer donated 15. Thanks for answering YouTube's Frost questions tonight. My son and I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Kim. We love you too.
Glad we could help.
What if Canada?
Glad you could help.
What if Canada became a part of the U.S.? I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, I just want to keep our country where it's at, and I want to stop this bullshit. This whole thing is just, it's so exhausting and it's so boring, and it's not even remotely close to who we are. Here is a video Tommy Tuberville talking about what we were just talking about, and then we're going to move on to something else.
Okay, if we need to bust it, let's bust it. Let's knock it down to 51 and let the Senate know that, listen, the power needs to go to the president and let him get something done. If we don't, we're going to lose our country. It's going to be over with. And so he's got 3 years. He's the last Trump that we'll have in office. He's hard-nosed. He believes in this country. Let's give him some support. If he wants to blow up the filibuster, I'm all for it. Okay, if we need to bust it, let's bust it.
And who is he?
He's Tommy Tuberville, senator for Alabama.
Okay.
So that's it. Listen, I was diametrically opposed to removing the filibuster until last night. And it just confirms what's going to happen in 2026, because I know how the trends are. I know what off-year elections mean. I know what it means to have a president win, the one party win all 3 levels of government. And then what America does is they remove it. They always do. Because people expect way too much from their government. And government makes too many promises. The story of what happened last night is communists took over the Democrat Party. Well, socialists, not communism. And that's the truth. Mom Donnie, you got Mom Donnie. Remember when the squad was just, 3?
The squad.
Then it turned into 8. Now it's like 12. But this is very reminiscent of 1940 Germany. And I'm not saying that the squad and these guys are Nazis. What I'm saying is that their party is expanding. And people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey and Rand Paul and Joe Manchin and even Fetterman are not good. We don't need wishy-washy politicians. We need people to follow exactly what their constituents said to do. Here is MSNBC or CNN saying exactly what I'm saying. Here it is.
The story for tonight is actually that the Socialist Party is taking over the Democrat Party. And you know what? It was Andrew Cuomo. It was Kathy Hochul, who were the Democrats that were so afraid of their shadows, so afraid of the radical left. People like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez kept moving to satisfy them. And now they've been eaten alive. So this is a lesson for the Democrat Party. They should have fought for their party. They never fought for their party. They catered to the radical left. And now we're going to see By the way, for people who think that they're voting for affordability here with Mondani, a guy who believes in socialism, we're going to learn the hard way in New York City what socialism is. Your taxes will go up, and if you pay property taxes, you won't be able to afford to live in your home. And if you guess what you rent, it's going to be passed on to you in the form of your rent. Yeah. Mandates, fees, regulations, surcharges. We've seen it in this state, in this city, under one-party rule for the last decade. It costs money. It gets passed on to you. So if you think you're going to get a free ride with Mondani, you're going to learn the hard way.
That's why the answer to it.
It's a great point. It's absolutely the truth. You can't get away from it. The guy's a socialist. You could have heard his speech last night. Oh my God, it was horrendous. I mean, it.
Are you going to play it or no?
Yeah, I mean, sure, I can play a little bit. I want to play Marjorie Taylor Greene first because I am so, like, I told you that this woman is just an absolute. Listen, there's a lot of rumors going around Washington, D.C., and I did not give these any credence until AOC said it. And I'm really pissed off that AOC said it. I wish somebody from the GOP would have leaked it. But it's my understanding that she actually wanted to run for the Senate seat in Georgia, and Donald Trump told her no. And what you're seeing is this retaliation is from her repudiating MAGA and saying that she's the only true MAGA, that MAGA has lost its way and Israel first. So she was on The View, and this is what your amazing MAGA, red, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the people who you guys thought should run for vice president. Not all of you. A lot of you listened to me. I told you she was rotten to the core. She will be an independent within 6 months, or a Democrat. She's going to pull the Tulsi Gabbard. I'm telling you right now. She's already remodeling. Why would you go on The View unless you're working to remodel your image? Yeah. She was on Bill Maher. Next, it's going to be the Young Turks. Then maybe she'll get Harry Sasson and these people. Because what does the left do? Whenever a GOP leaves, they eat them up and prop them up as hard as they can because they use it to rub the faces of the Republicans in it. Here she is.
On free speech, I want to. On free speech, I want to.
It'll catch up.
I think that all of us right here are doing a great job of exchanging our ideas and things that we believe in, and we're doing it in a very professional and kind way. And in my opinion, I think we need
Jewish
more of that
space lasers.
America, I really do. And a lot of people wanted me to come on the show and say nasty things and all of us to fight. They wanted all of us to fight.
Thank you for not doing that.
Oh, my goodness, no. I didn't want to do that.
Why don't you just dyke out on the table? I mean, seriously, just get it over with.
It's like
this is the worst female porn I've ever seen.
5-1.
She could handle it, but she didn't want to.
No, I didn't want to do that today because I believe that people with powerful voices like myself and like you, and especially women to women, we need to pave a new path. This country, our beautiful country, our red, white, and blue flag is just being ripped to shreds. And I think it takes women of maturity to sew it back together. And I think that's
Whoa.
They tore down statues of Susan B. Anthony. This isn't a euphemism. This is literally what they did. The woman who sewed the flag. These are the women who hate the red, white, and blue. These are the people who are pro-Palestine. This lady is completely batshit.
You can't go on The View if you're Republican. You'll your feet will burn or something. People who actually have a brain are not allowed there.
Listen to this. This is another clip. And then if I ever hear about MAGA Marjorie Taylor Greene, you guys all got bamboozled. You got hoodwinked. You got run amok. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. This is crazy. This is nuts. Folks, we're at 158.48. Is that true?
No, it's not.
Oh, it is.
You got to refresh. It's 281.96.
281.96. Sorry, folks. Thanks. Sorry, my eyes. Here we go.
Well, I want to talk about MAGA voters who believed that the president made promises like lowering grocery prices on day one, Right now, grocery prices,
on.
inflation is up, soybean and cattle farmers are on the verge of bankruptcy. Millions have lost their food stamps and are about to lose their health care, while we're watching $40 billion to bail out Argentina.
Read that teleprompter, Whoopi.
Maybe she
What
needs her
is
eyes
going
checked
on?
again. New glasses, maybe?
I don't know. I am so America first. I
So-
feel like I
so-
live it
Oh, that's
and breathe it.
laughable.
And
That's
my district,
funny.
and that's
She's a
what
good
people want.
comedian.
They are so tired of their hard-earned tax dollars being sent overseas to foreign wars and foreign aid, foreign causes.
Get on the I
while
Hate
life
Jews
in
bandwagon.
America just becomes more and more unaffordable. We want this money
Unless it's
invested at
Ukraine,
home for our
but 'cause you know,
infrastructure, for
Ukraine first.
programs, for our people, and most importantly, for my children's generation and their children and their children and generations to come. And I have to say, that's what I've campaigned on the entire time. Everybody's like, Marjorie Taylor Greene has changed. And I'm like, oh, no, nothing has changed about me. I am staying
Bullshit.
absolutely 100% true to the people that voted for me and true to my district. And I am so
No,
angry when I
you are
drive around my
not.
district to all these beautiful little rural small towns. And there's manufacturing plants that are crumbling from decades of lost industry.
Who exported the jobs?
Small businesses that got shuttered during COVID lockdowns and COVID shutdowns. And you want to know something else, Whoopi?
Oh, yeah.
So many veterans that went over and had to fight
Oh
in
my
some
God!
war.
I'm
that
sorry.
Really,
This woman makes me absolutely. I told you also about
Nails
Thomas
on a
Massey. I told you about Thomas Massey and Rand Paul. You got to Bobby. Thank you. We love you. I'm sorry, folks. I'm pretty good at this. I can smell a lie like a fart in a car. Smell a lie like a fart in a car. Sitting around smoking a joint, getting stupid. Happy Harry Hard on coming through the airwaves. Just want to let you know this lady here is starving from one day without her SNAP benefits. One day. That's it. It just ended. This is pretty sad.
It's really bad. Danielle Grant is starving.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can get some food because we literally don't have anything to eat today or tomorrow. So we're going to try to make ends meet, and we can. Desperate for food, nowhere to go. Grant.
Rule of 3, folks. You can survive without air for 3 minutes. You can survive without water for 3 days. You can survive without food for 3 weeks. Some people call that fasting.
And many others got to the hope
Is that for the...
That's for the clock.
Got it.
line today just to make an appointment to come back later in the week for food. Resources are slim, leaving 40% of Bronxites without money to feed themselves. Some still in shock.
You heard things before. It's like they're not gonna let people starve. That's ridiculous, But it's like no, that's literally like what's happening.
We hope the food pantries maintain open because if they don't stay open, I really don't know what we're going to do next.
We asked people their
How
reaction.
come all these people have manicured eyebrows, nails, beautiful hair? What's going
To
on?
hearing that the Trump administration will partially fund the SNAP program. People say it's not going to do much. They have families to feed and already struggled at the end of every month when they were receiving the full amount.
Wow, not enough. At least it's something to hold on, but I think everybody's going to have to get a second job.
It doesn't really last the whole month, probably like 2 or 3 weeks, and then by the last week you gotta scramble to find, things.
This couple has 4 kids. The mom says pantries aren't always reliable.
They have limited supply, or by the time we get to the front of the line, then it's really nothing there. So it's hard.
She says she's holding on to faith. Meanwhile, others are worried hunger will drive crime rates up. We don't know how much money will be reloaded onto people's cards and when that will be.
I don't see any disabled people. Everyone seems to be standing. Go to work. Get a job. My Social Security has been maxed out for 5 years. I've worked enough for 2 people. This is a job. It may not be what you consider a job, but anytime you want to come and do my work, let me know. Get a job. So, listen, I'm so sick of this crap. I keep hearing, what about all the children and all the disabled people and all the people who can't work? There's not one retired person in line. There's not one child in line. There's not one disabled person in line. Those people can't do this. Those people deserve to be taken care of. These people, we don't owe you this.
Get a job.
You going to bed? Are you going to bed? Good night. We love you.
I love you, sweet pea.
I don't understand. I'm not trying to be insensitive. Listen to what I said. The people who are disabled, the people who are too young, the people who have contributed to the workforce, totally different. The people who are working and getting benefits and additions, that's fine. Okay, that's good. But folks, we have a very large portion of our population that does nothing. You have anything to chime in on this?
It frustrates me. Get a job. Stop having kids to get more benefits.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have voted for Mamdani because this is not going to be the last time that you're not going to have your benefits and not going to have food. You just remember, you guys voted for this. New York City is just going to collapse because the billionaires that are there are freaking going to leave. They're going to skedaddle and leave. And then, whoops, there goes majority of the tax money.
I just can't anymore. You know, and people who bitch about taxes.
Okay, you know what we need to do? Every single video that comes out about a person that's like, yes, Mamdani won New York. Awesome. This is great. We're going to bookmark your video.
Oh, I've already saved them. I got a ton of them.
Let me see, he takes office third week of January. So let's say March, April. We're going to watch your video when you're bitching about taxes, that your taxes just went up 50%. You can't afford anything. Your
ass is going to get raped and killed before that.
And I want to watch you cry.
You just
wait
for crime.
You voted for this and you wanted it. Now you guys are going to get it.
There is a 1990 crime spree coming to New York. And I'm telling you right now, as Rudy Giuliani is synonymous with stopping it, Mamdani will be the person to restart it. Just watch. Progressive DAs and social worker police departments and releasing and emptying the prisons. Oh my God. It's going to be horrible. Watch this video. This video sums it up exactly what Olivia was talking about. Exactly. This guy is gold.
Let's fucking go, baby. Let's go, New York. Well done. Congratulations to Mamdani. Super huge shout out to all of his voters, but a big shout out to the 80% females that voted for him. The women under 30. Congratulations and well done. It's wild. 1 minute you guys are crying about oppression, the next minute you're voting for it. I love it. And I know you guys voted this way because your liberal teachers told you to, and because you think you're going to get something free from it. And you might get a loaf of bread when you're standing in 5 boroughs waiting for your fucking scraps. Oh, I bet y'all women are excited too. Like y'all going out getting in designer Durkas and shit. Getting all signed up for the handmade Haji tails and shit. I'm guessing you ladies are about to start taking classes on how to shut the fuck up because you're no longer allowed to speak. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. To the rest of the world, maybe now you understand why we want to do away with the 19th Amendment, because all of our fucking problems come from the 19th Amendment. Yes, ladies, you are the fucking problem. Damn, when you think women can't get any fucking dumber. Boom! Honestly, I wish I could be a fucking fly on the wall in New York. I want to watch this shit. I want to watch y'all stand in line in the 5 boroughs for your scraps. I want to watch y'all get your ass beat in the streets. I really want to watch you reap what you fucking sow. And I would pay pay-per-view prices for that shit. I love all of you. I'm your Huckleberry.
Yep, that's pretty funny.
It's funny.
And you know, the 80% women under 30, this is the 80% that wanted their college paid for. That's why.
Oh yeah.
They voted for a TikTok candidate.
Yep.
That's the only reason he won is TikTok.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And he's got an easy smile. Easy smile. That's what it's all about.
It's kind of like women who know nothing about sports and they pick their favorite team based on the pretty colors of the uniform. It's pretty much what they did. They know nothing about politics, nothing about anything like that. They hear the word free and he's cute. So let's vote for him. Why not?
Yeah.
Just stupid.
I love how he said Mad Mobby, and the guy couldn't say his name right. But can we have a real talk now, please?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have a real talk when it comes to the Republican Party. Hey, guys, we can't win without women. Those crazy bitches. We need to find a way, maybe, just maybe, to stop telling women to have kids and stay at home and get pregnant. Might not be the best way to get them to come to the Republican Party. You can allow Christianity to do that. You can allow family values to do that. You can allow the workplace to do that. You can allow the neighborhoods and friends and families that they live in to do that. But when 78% of 18 to 29-year-olds vote with Spanberger, when 67% of 30 to 44-year-olds vote with Spanberger, and 55% of 65-year-olds vote with Spanberger, and then on the other side, you don't make the exact same age groups and men be more red than that, you're going to lose. And what did I tell you? Who would deliver the elections? What did I say? I gave you one answer. I said the women. Women will deliver the election. You know how many laugh emojis I got on that? Well, guess what? I was right. You were wrong. Nana, nana, boo, boo, stick your head in doo-doo. I told you. There are more women voters than there are males. And that trend is not getting better with youth. Women will continue to vote. And the more you tell them that they can't have abortions, the more that you tell them to have kids and get pregnant and stay home, those days need to be over. I'm sorry. I don't agree with abortion. You got Roe v. Wade overturned. Government is now out of it. It's up to the states. Shut the fuck up about abortion. I'm sorry.
I happen to agree.
The federal government needs to shut up about abortion. It's no longer your concern. It's up to the states. So stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. Stop talking about women having kids and staying home. Stop talking about it. We need to shift. And the Republican Party has to find, not a lot. You don't have to abandon all your values. We don't need to do that. But we need to loosen up. Like I told you 2 years ago, Donald Trump had to loosen up on abortion if he wanted to win. And what did everyone do? We will not. We'd rather lose. Abortion or die. Abortion must go. It's the most important thing in the world. What happened? Donald Trump went to the middle and he won. If you want to win in 2026, shut the front door on abortion. Stop. Now, you can go ahead and pray on it. You can picket Planned Parenthood. You can go ahead and run for office and rail against it on your state. I don't care. But leave it off the federal docket. It's gone. I'm sorry. You have any thoughts on that?
It's disappointing. And I told Hayden, I said, well, we're never going to New York City. We're not seeing a Broadway show. And her school, the art department in her school, choir, band, theater, they take a trip to New York City to see a Broadway show every year. Hayden will never be going on that now.
Yeah.
Never going to New York.
Just wait. Wait till they start doing daily prayer. Wait till they start doing daily prayer in Times Square. Did you hear what the Muslims said in New York? They're like, he's the mayor of America now.
New York City is not America.
They said about Rudy Giuliani, he's the mayor of America.
Got it.
That's what they're trying to say.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't know. I don't remember that.
I know, it's okay. You were like 12.
Exactly.
We had only been dating for like 6 months. I'm not on any list.
That's funny.
Brett Cooper, who basically looks like Ben Shapiro's daughter, and I would have sworn to God that she was Ben Shapiro's daughter for most of her career. She has decided to come out and do what? Defend Nick Fuentes. Here is Brett Cooper. I would like to get your opinion on this, Liv. Here it is.
You are so blinded by your ridiculous, insane hatred of Tucker Carlson that you cannot see how irresponsible and hypocritical you are being. I mean, these tweets from Ted Cruz, I'm going to read you next, are a great example of this. So just a month ago, he tweeted this. He said, "They don't kill you because you're a Nazi. They call you a Nazi so they can kill you. Political violence is a left-wing phenomenon. Enough is enough. We need to shut it down." And then in response to Fuentes and Tucker this week, he tweeted this. "Trump's bombing of the Ayatollah's nuclear facilities made the little Nazi mad. Good." So now you're turning around and you're calling somebody that you don't like a Nazi. You're doing this out of blind rage because you're so angry that the conservative base's attitudes are rapidly changing, that Nick Fuentes is getting national attention. And so you have turned around and in response, you are compromising your own values in anger, which is such a dangerous precedent to set. And unfortunately for you guys, yes, the attitudes are changing. So again, it makes sense why this group is incredibly frantic. You are so...
Republicans are trying so hard to platform Nick Fuentes, and I'm sitting here going, what in the world happened? Here is Nick's. This is why Nick's likable. Here's Nick's reply, and it's funny. But the sad part is Olivia has heard it too. His calls for Hitler is his hero and the eradication of Jews and that the Holocaust was fake and calling himself Team Hitler. But this is funny. And this is why he's likable. This is why people like him, because he has charisma and he can talk out of both sides of his mouth. Hey, he's like Lucifer, man. He's like Ted Bundy. Handsome as hell, and well, Nick Fuentes isn't handsome as hell, but he has charisma because watch what he does when he watches this video of Brett Cooper defending him. And here's the video. Watch this.
Why does Brett Cooper...
Liv, I really want you to watch this and tell me that he isn't likable here.
Okay.
Why does Brett Cooper low-key look like Candace if she was white? Matt Walsh, you better watch out. You're being outmaneuvered by some basic bitch girly con.
That was insane, dude. Brett Cooper comes out and says, "Go back to Israel. Go back to Israel where you belong." I was like, whoa, Brett. I was like, Brett. I put my hair behind my ear like Radio Rebel. I was like, Brett, oh my goodness. I was like, she's really good. I was like, I did the Allison Stoner from Camp Rock. I did the Demi Lovato. Brett Cooper was like, "Hey, Randy Fine." She's like, "You know what? Hey, Randy Fine, why don't you take your fat ass and go back to Israel if you hate America?" She's really good. Brett Cooper, let's fucking go. Honorary Groiper. Brett Cooper, raise your right hand real quick. That was awesome. That was unexpected. Who was expecting that? I take back everything I said about her. I made fun of her wedding. I don't like her wedding. I'm going to be honest. And we want to know why her wedding was like, she wore cowboy boots. She did that whole like rustic cowboy aesthetic for her wedding. Odious. That's a stylistic disagreement, whatever. Agree to disagree. She did a wedding where the groom wore a cow.
So that's what he does. He finds things that he disagrees with people and rails them and just destroys them. And for some reason, people want his acceptance. So in order to defend Tucker Carlson, they have to inadvertently apologize for someone who espouses Nazi bullshit all the time. And the problem is that there are not enough people calling him out anymore because the onslaught of his crew is merciless. And people have decided, instead of facing him and engaging him like we did and going after them head on, they circumvent him. Ben Shapiro won't go after him. Charlie Kirk wouldn't go after him. They wouldn't. So Ben Shapiro has spent the last 2 days attacking Nick Fuentes for over an hour and a half. And all it's doing is making him stronger, because you know what they're saying? Oh, I'm in Ben Shapiro's head. He has to debate me. And just like Tucker fell for it, just like Candace fell for it, They platform him, and now he can move on. And he's literally sticking his flag in these giant podcasts because they're giving him the time of day and giving him credibility. Why didn't you continue to ignore his little ass? It's not going to last. He doesn't have the staying power. He doesn't have the maturity to continue, because this younger movement is going to get bored. They're going to grow up. They're going to get jobs. They're going to find girlfriends. They're going to realize that masturbating to Nick Fuentes isn't as fulfilling as having a woman in your life. But until that happens, this guy has an extraordinary amount of power, and we have a vacuum that took place with Charlie Kirk. And unfortunately, we had a really good young person to counteract him, but they murdered him.
He did the Tucker Carlson laugh in the middle of his spiel there.
He always does that.
Yeah. Ava Lynn's comment from Facebook. I know this is going back to Mom Donnie in New York, but it was pretty priceless. Sharia law will take care of the woman issue.
Yeah.
A boy hat, and she wore.
That's not a bad comment.
Very true.
See, the problem is it's not about him. See, people find that to be they find it to be genuine about him. Like, well, look at him. See, he's affable. He's giving the peace pipe to Brett Cooper. He doesn't believe any of that shit. But they keep platforming him. They keep apologizing for him. And it's never going to get, you can't marginalize somebody like that, because no matter what you do, whether you disprove him or you beat him in a debate, they will spin it. And the moment you start winning in a conversation, they're like, oh, you're a Jew lover. You love the Jews. You hate them. And you're like, well, they're just like the left. They are absolutely just like the left. There's no winning. Look what they're doing to Brandon Tatum. They are literally destroying Tatum and going after him, everything he says and everything he does. Tatum's been one of the most prolific podcasters and influencers that we've had. And they're just tearing this guy apart. And there's, oh, you got your $7,000, you're a Jew apologist and all this other stuff. Liberals have a new a privilege scale. Seth says the Republican Party needs someone who has tactics like Nick Fuentes, the Don't Unfriend Me show. Well, he's not a Republican, though. And he pretends he is, but he says more. He's jerking off Mom Donnie now. This guy doesn't know what he wants. What he wants is literally to destroy the current system of government that we have. And he goes against liberals. He goes against everybody. He just wants destruction. It depends what his bipolar tells him to do that day. This is the way he is. Here is the new system. Dawn, the entire first hour of the show was based upon your question, kiddo. So all you need to do is go and watch it. And I talked all about the filibuster. It's there for you. Go have fun with it. Here is the new system of weighing privilege based on, weight.
I have a question. Can you tell me what category of fat I fit in?
So it's based on your shirt size. So if you are a 1 or 2X, you are small fat. 3 to 4X, you are mid fat. 5 to 6X, you are super fat. Is based on what level of privilege you have in the world. So someone in a small fat category may not struggle getting on an airplane, but someone in a mid fat or super fat may not be able to use even the airplane extender. So that's where that comes in, and like the privilege levels of like what fat means to different people.
I have a question. Can you tell me what category of fat I fit in?
How about you lose some effing weight?
Whoa. That's pretty fucking judgy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about that. Why are we basing the amount of privilege that we have based upon how fat we are?
Exactly. If you are jealous of somebody that can fit in an airplane seat and not have to use a seatbelt extender, maybe you shouldn't eat McDonald's and Taco Bell every night, and you should lose some weight as opposed to sitting on your fat ass and thinking about people having privilege that you don't.
Church is not doing you well.
Hey, that's like the first time I've cussed in quite a while. I'm doing really good with the language.
I haven't been.
But seriously?
Good night, Mallory.
Seriously.
I don't understand it. I'm confused by it. It doesn't make much sense to me. You know what I mean? So
have a little self-respect, for goodness sakes. My God.
like these women, like these Mondani supporters. Watch these women, and they're celebrating Sharia law. I'm not kidding.
Sharia law starts now. Absolutely. Zohran Mamdani, Islamic Caliphate, our brother in Islam, Islamic Caliphate of New York starts today, baby.
God, there is just something so electric, so satisfying about knowing that my MAGA parents, wherever they are probably having a horrible night tonight. Oh, I literally just got goosebumps thinking about it. Like they are in such a bad mood probably about the fact that Zoran just won and Prop 50 is going to pass. Like, wow. God, I'm sorry. It just makes me feel good that my MAGA parents are probably upset right now.
When the day starts with Dick Cheney being dead, it ends with Mamdani winning. Oh, yes. Oh. I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm so happy.
Sharia law starts now.
I'm going to just throw this out here. I'm going to guess they don't know what Sharia law is.
No idea.
It sounds cool, so we're going to celebrate it.
These are the people that just did the No Kings protest, who literally just voted for complete government control of everything you do.
I am going to laugh in your face when you pitch and cry about having to wear a freaking burqa and you can't afford to live. Oh my gosh, they are so stupid.
It's not, they won't be forced to wear a burqa. They just won't be allowed in areas where a burqa is required. That's what's going to happen. They won't force their religion on. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to literally force people out of going to certain public spaces that have been occupied and claimed by Muslims. And if you don't follow their laws, you will be castigated out of society. That's what they did in Dearborn, Michigan. And they will slowly expand and buy up the businesses and constantly take over the country. That's what's going to happen. Here is our last thing for tonight, which is Governor Glenn Youngkin talking about vape. Folks, if you planned on donating tonight, we're at 30306, which is fine. And we appreciate it, and thank you so much for hitting it. But we would love to go ahead and overdrive. So if you planned on donating, now is the time. I can't believe I said so many times. I'm usually pretty good about that. Here is the video about vape stores. This is a huge thing This is a big thing in Hayden's high school. And Liv, you can talk about it for a few minutes, but a lot of kids are smoking weed through vape and very young kids, 13, 12 years old.
Yeah, the high school had to put vape detectors in all the bathrooms because what the kids were doing is they were cutting class and getting a bathroom pass and going and smoking their vape in the bathrooms. And unfortunately, though, it's very sensitive and it goes off with certain perfumes. Hayden sprayed a perfume one day in the bathroom and teachers came in and accused her of vaping. She's like, whoa, no, I did not. I just sprayed perfume. But they did put them in there. It's crazy. The kids these days.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Here's the video, and then we're gonna bow out. We need an early night tonight. We are tired.
Yes.
Statewide vape shop crackdown. For the past few months, state police have been conducting Operation Magic Dragon, investigating vape shops in Western Virginia for criminal activity, and that's exactly what they found. State police removed nearly 130 kilograms of marijuana valued at more than $1 million, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth in THC cartridges and edibles, 73 grams of cocaine, and 21 illegal firearms.
It's beyond alarming. But again, it's not surprising.
This is Rochelle Hunley with Brady United, a gun violence prevention organization. She says this is exactly what many Virginians have been concerned about when it comes to vape shops.
Any type of access to an easy access to these firearms is beyond concerning. I think that tackling these sources and systems that allow illegal firearms to reach communities in the first place needs to be something that law enforcement, as well as prevention and gun violence advocates should be talking about.
Governor Youngkin also called on state police to cast a wider net. 172 vape shops were then targeted all across Virginia during 1 week in September. This time, troopers seized marijuana, cocaine, as well as meth. I spoke with Nathan Hutchinson, the operations director at Arrowwood Addiction Treatment Center. He tells me that much of their clients that come in are addicted to substances like kratom, which he says can easily be purchased at places like vape shops.
The need for the substance is what creates the criminal activity.
Yeah, so pretty serious stuff. Like I vaped, and it helped me stop smoking. It was the only thing that helped me stop smoking. I vaped for, everyone remembers the first year and a half of the show, I was vaping, and then Hayden asked me to stop, and I did. Listen, there's use of medicinal marijuana that is fine, but when 13 and 14 and 12-year-olds are smoking weed, it's not okay. I don't think there's anyone on the planet that would believe that if a kid started, drinking scotch on the rocks at 12 or 13 years old, that there would be a problem. Now, alcohol is not marijuana, and alcohol is much more devastating to you. But anyone who says that smoking weed is good for you is the same people that told you that smoking cigarettes is good for you. It's not good for you. It's less harmful than other hardcore drugs, but it's still a drug. It's still a depressant. It's not good for your lungs. And it's certainly not good for children. But this stuff is also synthetic, and it's dangerous because vaping it's not natural, and not that tobacco is wonderful for you, but honestly, smoking tobacco just as tobacco is a hell of a lot better than smoking the processed cigarettes that are sold over the counter. This stuff has no use in our schools, but people find it cute. But if you saw a 12-year-old smoking a cigarette, most people probably would say something, unless there's a group of kids, at least when I was growing up. And when someone's vaping, nobody seems to care. Not a big fan of it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, me neither. It's how are these kids getting the vapes? That's what I want to know. How are the kids getting the vapes?
Well, adults, 18-year-olds will go in and buy it. If that's what the law is allowed. Sometimes I think some places 21 to smoke, but I think vapes don't have those same regulations depending upon the state. And just like, how do you get cigarettes? How do you get a Penthouse magazine back then? How do you get alcohol? You ask someone who is of age to get it for you, and that's how.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you ban John Balls? I just even seeing him, he's just stupid. I smoke weed all the time. Nicotine's amazing. Every time you see him, will you please just fucking get rid of him?
Yes.
I mean, why is he even in here?
Thought we were giving him a chance.
Who said that?
I thought we left him in on chat on Friday or Monday.
Fuck him.
Okay.
Just fuck him. I just can't stand the guy. He's just a fucking retard. And I'm sorry. Yes, I'm censoring his speech. Fuck you. Yes, you don't have First Amendment rights. You're out of here. This guy drives me crazy. See if there's any, pardon the language, but just, oh God, the guy just
We were going to watch part of Mom Domini's speech because I hadn't seen it.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And then we can go.
Yeah, I just can't stand the guy. Just can't stand the guy. You guys just ban his ass. Just block him. 2 minutes and 36 seconds should be enough. And I love the quintessential Persian and Muslim colors of yellow and purple. Oh, this guy is just he's just rubbing it in the face. He's rubbing it in everyone's face. Oh, we're going to get free buses and free rent. Okay. Let me know how that works out for you in month 6.
If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power.
What? Voting?
This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So, Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up. We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks. We will stand alongside unions and expand labor protections because we know, just as Donald Trump does, that when working people have ironclad rights, the bosses who seek to extort them become very small indeed.
There comes the unions.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant. So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
Oh, boy. Socialism takes root in America. And the sad thing is, there's people like today, they're like, oh, yeah, socialism's been here a long time. I'm like, who? This guy is openly socialist. He is absolutely calling for full government control on everything, on housing, on food, on taxi cabs, on education, on work, everything. Full government. These are no kings, and they're stupid. These are the same people that voted in Prop 50. 90% of America wanted a private third party to district lines in California. 90%. Those were the exit polls. They literally voted because they thought that this was going to stop Republicans from being in office. That is not the descriptor. Prop 50 description on ballots. I told everyone I was going to go ahead and show you this. Let me show it to you. This is the way it was worded. And if you're looking, this is from Ballotpedia if you're looking for a source, okay? It says, a yes vote on this measure means the state would use new legislative drawn congressional district maps starting in 2026. California's new maps would be used until the California Citizens Redistricting Committee draws new maps following the 2030 census. A vote no on this measure means the state would keep the existing congressional district maps drawn by the Independent Redistricting Commission. So what they're saying is that it was temporary, it wasn't permanent, and it makes it sound like the redistricting maps were going to be used by the committee. But they're not doing that. They're suspending the ones that were submitted by the committee for 2026, revoking them and drawing their own. So they're suspending the committee's right to redistrict based upon being impartial to allow Democrats and the people in power to redistrict and gerrymander the way they want, which is unconstitutional. So there's a lawsuit here. And if I was Donald Trump, I would find the most conservative, staunch federal judges in California and absolutely, or find somebody outside the Ninth Circuit to go ahead and use federal judges to sue California like they've been suing Trump and play Don Ball. Did you get him, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Just, whenever he's in here, just nail him. That's it. Sue their asses and fight fire with fire. That's it. Liv,
Yes.
Your word. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. It was a sad night last night, but you know what? Gotta move on.
Moving on.
Move through and just be extremely thankful I don't live in New York City. Thank you everyone for the donations tonight.
Yes.
Really, really appreciate it.
Yep.
And it'll be you and Leroy tomorrow.
Yep. We'll keep banning balls because, God, the guy's just fucking annoying.
And we have a guest next Tuesday.
Who's coming in?
His name is Scott.
Scott is somebody may know him. He is a transgender male who was on Matt Walsh's movie, and I haven't studied everything about him. I know Leroy introduced us, and he is obviously transgender male, also known as a female being a male. And we're going to respect that because I'm fine with that. I don't mind calling him Scott, and I certainly don't mind saying he. Anything further than that, and I'll let him know, but I'm not going to be disrespectful. But he is absolutely against the grooming of kids, and this is supposed to be a pretty big thing. Will you and Leroy break down the UPS flight accident? Maybe a little bit. Yeah, we'll probably get into it, considering we usually do. And then Scott will be here next Tuesday, which will be great.
Mm-hmm.
The 15th, we're going to be where?
We're going to be in Arlington celebrating Barry Morgenstein's new book.
Yeah, so we're going to be up there with Shelley and Barry, and even though they promised to come see us, we're going to go see them first because, that's what friends do. If you haven't gotten Barry's new book, Rock and Soul, it was just released. Got the copy. It's amazing. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and we appreciate you. Have a good night. Remember, it's just an election. Not every day is defined by politics, and if you are allowing it to be defined by politics, I'm going to ask you to take a break from politics because it is certainly not the most important thing in your life. God, your family, and your health is the three most important things in your life in order for you to love and care about all those around you. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.